fund was announced with a lot of consensus from other political parties in the budget from 2009. Mr. Flaherty said it would be timely, it would be targeted, and be temporary. And it turned out the government's only serious about the last of the three. It was supposed to be timely. They're supposed to get the money out, they said, to be effective by May the 29th, and they didn't. And instead it was months later before they actually started getting dollars or projects where they call shovels in the ground. And that meant a whole construction season was missed. So the big delay at the beginning did two things. It missed the creation of jobs at the right time, when the recession was fully underway and where there's most needed. Secondly, though, it also put their partners in this, municipalities, behind the eight ball. They had to then make up for a whole lost construction season. Well, it's the artificial stupidity of this rule, which basically says March 31st, anything that's not built, the federal government won't pay for. So the municipality will be stuck with a project because of the rains, for example, in southern Saskatchewan that washed out roads and made it impossible to build. The municipal elections that were held in Quebec and had a turnover of half of the mayors were new, and so a lot of delays took place administratively there. But just the authorizations from the federal government. So, I mean, those things will all have an impact on when this thing will get done. The federal government won't take any of the responsibility for it. They're saying that somehow the municipalities, and I guess perhaps the provinces, should be responsible for the weather, for construction delays, for other factors. And that doesn't make sense. They said it would be targeted. They said that they would actually put the money into areas where families and communities are most in need. They didn't do any such thing. And in fact, studies we previously published show the only targeting was political targeting. Projects and ridings where the Conservatives felt it would do them some good. And we showed that 240% more money was going into Conservative-held ridings versus opposition-held ridings. And then as we published our first reports or made them public in Parliament, they started making announcements in opposition ridings. So we actually published a table, and you can see the Conservative ridings started receiving funding announcement in March, right through to September, and only in October, after the House was back, after we started, did they start to go to opposition ridings. And so it's now only 40% more for Conservative ridings in British Columbia. But in fact, there's an inverse relationship between ridings in need that have high unemployment rates and how much money they get from the federal government. Right now, what Canadians should be worried about is whether this is going to get them good projects at a good price and be worth the money that they and their kids are going to be paying back. And the government so far is just trying to duck that question.